Hello and welcome, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're actually going to review a piece of hardware. Yes, that's right. Today we are going to talk about the all-in-one Microsoft Media Keyboard. This is a new keyboard, a new accessory that actually came out within the last couple weeks. I actually had a buddy mention this on Twitter, and I've always kind of been on the lookout for a keyboard that I can use when I have a laptop or some kind of device plugged into a TV, and I want to be able to just sit in the couch or sit on the bed and interact with the computer connected to the TV, be it a laptop or a home media server, without having cables across the room or, I've used other wireless keyboard peripherals before, and they never really worked out for me, so I decided to give the Microsoft all-in-one media keyboard a try. So here we see the packaging. It's, it looks nice. I like the packaging. It has that Metro, or I guess they call it modern UI look now. So if we just crack this sucker open, first impressions right out of the box, the keyboard, it's very light. There's actually rounded corners, so it actually fits pretty well in your hand and is comfortable to hold on to. The trackpad is very large. The keys are pretty much full size, very easy to type with. I was actually expecting the keyboard to be larger overall, but it's a great size. I'll show you the size of it in my lap later on in the video here. If we look at the battery compartment, it comes with two AA's, and that little area here, this little notch on the right, is actually where the USB, I guess you could call it a dongle, the transmitter goes. There's actually a magnet in that little pocket there, so that when you put the transmitter in there, it just fits right in. I'll just give you a nice pan here of the keyboard. And in the rest of the box, we have the transceiver, the transmitter, as well as some, documentation. And I don't think we need that. Okay, so if we switch over to lap cam here, we can see the keyboard. I kind of like to use this keyboard with my right thumb on the trackpad, and my left hand actually on this mouse button. There's actually a mouse left click button there in the top left corner. That's pretty cool. The keys themselves, they all feel pretty good. Again, the presses are fairly shallow. It's a lot like a laptop keyboard, but that's nothing to be expected with this lightweight. Function keys work fine. The media shortcut keys are in a good position that are easy to get to. The keyboard itself is pretty light. It feels good in the hands, and the corners are rounded, so it's very easy to hang on to, and it feels good on the lap. The keyboard also has some other cool functionality. Apparently, it has a built-in spill-resistant design. Actually, in the media marketing information for this product, they specifically say this is very suitable for home entertainment and students living in dorm rooms or group housing. So I guess if some of your bros are hanging out and you spill some beer on it, I guess that's okay. But otherwise, you can expect it's built pretty durable. It's very durable. In the hands, you can kind of feel it's not. Of course, it's all made of plastic. It does have some flex to the board overall, but it still feels pretty sturdy, and I don't think I could very easily break it. Let's put it that way. And just taking a moment here to talk about some of the features in detail. Of course, wireless connectivity over the USB transceiver. Of course, basic keyboard functionality works with apparently select USB HID compliant smart TVs and gaming consoles. I assume that would mean the Xbox One. Customizable media keys. It also has swipe gestures, multi-touch gestures on the trackpad. Everything you expect from a more modern keyboard with trackpad. Some volume controls on the left, the mouse click that we mentioned, the media shortcut keys on the top right. Overall, pretty much what you would expect. It's got all the basics are most certainly covered. So one piece of functionality that I didn't really expect was actually the functionality that you can get out of the Microsoft Mouse and Keyboard Center software. Now, I believe this software will try and auto install when you plug in the device. And, I've used other Microsoft keyboards and mice before, and I always tried to suppress this because I guess I always considered it bloatware. I never really looked into it. I didn't want a piece of software that was always running in the background, kind of, taking up resources. And I don't really get into setting up macros or customizing my mouse keys or anything like that. But for this keyboard, this is actually a very useful piece of software because you have a whole ton of options that you can configure on this keyboard. So first off, probably one of the more useful areas is the fact that you can configure features around the trackpad itself. So here you can enable or disable gestures. You get some scrolling speed options, just a whole slew of options there around the trackpad itself. You get options around your media shortcut buttons there on the top right. So you can control the function of each button, and you can bind macros. You can have it open a specific program on your computer. It's not necessarily all preset by default. I think like the headphone, the media button opens Windows Media Player. I kind of like that you can actually configure these and kind of tune it to a use that you need. And you even have some nice control over application specific settings so that you can tweak the behavior of the keyboard when you're in a particular application. Now, while I wasn't a fan of the Microsoft Mouse and Keyboard Center previously, I would say when using this keyboard, I'd recommend you install this and configure this if you want to go outside the defaults on the machine that you actually use this keyboard with. Overall, I really like the keyboard. Right off the bat, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really all that much of a trackpad person, but this is definitely workable. Able to control devices with it just fine. I wouldn't use it as a daily driver, certainly not. I mean, not like this guy in this media picture, but for media computer use, living room, PC, whatever, sort of media related function you want there. It's a great device. Like it a lot. The features are great. I don't have a whole lot of experience with other products in this, let's say, category, but I'm really impressed with how well built the functionality and design of this keyboard. It's really a great product. Now, I actually bought mine off Amazon. You can, of course, get it at the Microsoft Store. MSRP is $39.95, and that's in US dollars. So again, I'd recommend it if you need a keyboard to hook up to a home media PC or maybe a Surface you have connected to your TV, something along those lines. I definitely give the Microsoft All-in-One keyboard a look. Thanks again for watching. I hope that this video maybe gives you a little bit more info on the keyboard. If maybe you're Googling for it, you might stumble across this video, and hopefully it helps you make your decision if you want to pick this up. Thanks again.